Time Spiral is almost upon us, and I wanted to go over today all of the remainder old border cards we're going to be getting with this set. Starting off here with Dismember. This is a card that's been printed a lot in the last few years. I don't know if it really needed a reprint, but it's nice to see it in a new border. We have Zealoport, Cutthroat, and Sanguine Bond, which is one of the cards that combos off very well in Commander with Exquisite Blood. And we have another Line to the Void, and we got this recently in one of the core sets, so wasn't really in desperate need of a reprint, but I guess it's nice to see it here with that old border, so I can't really complain too much, but I'll be talking about this at the end of the video. Stinkweed Imp, this is a card that was printed in Modern Masters, but it came out in the original Time Spiral block. We have Read the Bones as well. This was printed recently in Standard. I think it was Theros. Vampire Hexmage, great card that combos off with Dark Depths, obviously taking off the counters, and you get to cast your Merit Liege. Ugh, keep saying that wrong. And we have Harvester of Souls from the Avacyn Restored block. Interesting inclusion there. And Shriekmaw, which is a great card with his Evoke casting cost as well. And we have some more cards here that are black. Yawgmoth, Thran, Physician. So this was one of the Modern Horizons cards, really good mythic. Thoughtseize, you know, I love that we're seeing the original lore and art, but we did just get this fairly recently, so interesting inclusion to see reprinted again. Tassiger, this is a card that's just keeps getting reprinted to the point where it used to be like $1, now what is it, like a 10-cent bulk rare? I wouldn't even call it bulk at this point. It's been reprinted in Oblivion. And we have Gary, Grey Merchant of Asphodel, and this was printed recently as well in Theros. And we have Liliana's Triumph from War of the Spark here as well in the old border treatment. We have these two cards as well, Dreadhorde Arcanus. This is from War of the Spark, and we do have a nice Goblin Engineer. It is kind of cool to see the Goblin Engineer, though, in this old border frame. Not too bad. I do enjoy seeing that one up on the list here today. We have more red cards to talk about. Bedlam Reveler. This was a card printed first in Eldritch Moon. Not a bad inclusion. It does see some play in Pioneer. We have Lava Spike right here. Obviously, it's a 4 of in almost every burn deck. Felden of the Third Patch, and we have Anger of the Gods, really powerful card and a lot of sideboards, but it also does see play in Pioneer and in obviously Commander. We have Alicia, who smiles at death as well, legendary creature human warrior. So these ones I'm actually pretty happy about. I would love to see the Lava Spike and a foil. That would be incredible to see. And obviously Anger of the Gods is good. All of these I'm not really complaining too much, but yeah, they have seen reprints in recent years. Exquisite Firecraft. Okay, interesting inclusion. We have Temur Battle Rage. Now this is a card that is in a lot of Death Shadow decks in Modern, because it gives a, Death Shadow when his life is all the way down and he's like a 19/19, you get Double Strike and Trample. Very powerful card. Vandal Blast. This is a card that sees mostly play as a sideboard card. You can overload it and destroy all artifacts you don't control for 5 mana. Very good card. It was printed first in, I believe, Ravnica. Return to Ravnica, one of the Ravnica blocks. Past in Flames, good card, see some play in Storm. We saw it in Modern Masters 2017. That was the last time it was reprinted, I believe. And then we have Itali Primal Storm from the Ixalan block. All right, next card we have on the list here is more red ones. Young Pyromancer, great card. Used to be one of my favorite cards when it was out in Standard. Just absolutely loved playing that and just generating as much tokens as I can with all my instant sorceries. So I'm happy with that inclusion. Kiki-Jiki Mirror Breaker, one of the most iconic cards in Magic. There is a statue out there. If you guys can find it on the market, it's really cool. Monastery Swift Spear, obviously an inclusion on every burn deck or any red prowess deck. We have Molten Rain, great card, destroy target land, and you do 2 damage to that land's controller. And Zealous Conscripts is a card that mostly sees play in Commander. You get to take on one of your opponent's creatures, and then you swing at them with haste, as this card has haste as well. Not bad. Very, very cool. All right, next cards we have on the list here are going into the green zone. This is Farseek. Loving the green old border treatment here on that card. Reclamation Sage. This is a card that gets reprinted pretty much every year, but I mean, it's an uncommon, so don't hold uncommons for too long if you plan on like buy listing them or trading them for any sort of value. Beast Whisperer. This was a card we got fairly recently as well. Become Immense. Good card. Delve Mechanic. This was printed and I believe the Konzakir block, and Elvish Mystic, great 4 of in pretty much every Elf Pauper deck, but it's also just a really good mana dork. We have more green cards to talk about here. Evolutionary Leap. This was, I believe, printed first in Magic Origins. We have Nature's Claim, obviously a very, very useful card. Destroy target enchantment, and its controller gains 4 life. You know, it's a good trade-off to destroy an enchantment and they get 4 life. It's not too bad, especially in Commander. Beasts Within. This is another one of those removal trade-offs. Great card. It's been reprinted a lot though. Thragtusk, you know, obviously that's a no-brainer inclusion in most green stompy decks. And Eternal Witness, a card that we've seen reprinted numerous times. Primeval Titan. Great to see this one in there. It sees a lot of play in Modern. Sylvan Scrying. This is one of those cards you need 4 of for this in any sort of Tron deck in Modern as well, because you basically use this to search for those Tron lands, and then you put them in your hand and shuffle your library. We have Courser of the Crufix. This was printed recently, I think, in Born of the Gods is where it first saw an appearance. And Ancient Stirrings, great card as well. We had it reprinted recently as well. And Time of Need from the Kamigawa block. We have Lavinia, Azorius Renegade. Not a bad inclusion. I think this was printed first in Ravnica Allegiance, so it wasn't printed too long ago. Arcadis, great card. Love the gold treatment on these cards for the old border ones. They just look fantastic. Feather Redeemed. This was from War of the Spark, and we have Kusali, Pride Mage. Not a bad inclusion. And Abrupt Decay, which it's interesting seeing the gold cards have that bordering. But yeah, it was a very iconic card from Return to Ravnica, and it was printed as well in Modern Masters 2017. I keep thinking, whenever I say Modern, I keep thinking Modern Horizons. We have Knight of the Reliquary, not a bad inclusion. Prized Amalgam, first printed in Shadows over Innistrad. Great card in most Dredge decks. This is Consuming Aberration. An interesting inclusion. Not very valuable, but it is cool to see there. Good in Draft, I suppose, or any limited format. Temur Ascendancy. And we have Bloodbraid Elf. Very iconic card. And this is using the artwork from its original block, not the Shards of Lara block, and not any of the reprints that it had after, which did also have very good art, but I like seeing the old art here. Rakdos Charm, this is from Return to Ravnica. Great to see that charm in there. It's a shame that they didn't add more charms, but I guess, you got to be very, sparingly picking these and very meticulous about which ones you're going to put in. Trigon Predator, it was reprinted recently in one of the Modern Horizon sets. We have Grenzo Dungeon Warden. Not a bad inclusion. I do like that card, actually. Slimefoot the Stowaway. And we have Cloud Shredder Sliver, which was printed in Modern Horizons. That's where we first saw this card. Secret Plans. Great card. Face-down creatures get 0/1. Good card in Commander. And we did get recently a one of those Morph Commanders, which is pretty cool to see. Mortify, a card that we see a lot. It's great in Commander, any sort of removal spell like that. Tide Hollow Sculler as well, and we have Epic Experiment, and we have Dovin's Veto. And Dovin's Veto was printed in War of the Spark, but again, it's getting a reprint. But I like the old border treatment, so I can't complain. Contagion Clasp. We have Everflowing Chalice, Cranial Plating, which was on our list last week from week 1 for the old border remastered treatments, and we have Chalice of the Void, very powerful card, one of the most expensive cards out of all of these rebordered cards, but we have Crystal Shard because why not throw that in there? But I did talk about Chalice of the Void last week, so if you want to catch up on those videos, please look at week 1. Lotus Bloom, this was the first card ever spoiled, I believe, from the Time Spiral rebordered cards. We have Manifold Key, which was printed, I think, in Core Set 2021 or 2020. And we have Sorcerer's Spyglass. This was originally printed in Ixalan. And Hollow One, because why not? Even though the deck is dead in Modern, it's still a good card. And Leveler as well. And this is a artifact creature, Juggernaut 10/10. Vanquisher's Banner. This is from Ixalan. Great card in Commander, giving your creatures +1/+1. And whenever you cast a creature spell of that chosen type, draw a card. Solemn Simulacrum. And we have Par Harmonicon. And this was one of the mythics in Aether Revolt. Hedron Archive, and we have Tideholler Sculler. And did we already talk about that one? We might have already talked about it. But anyways, I love the foiling for sure on these old cards, especially the artifact ones. We have Ancient Den, great land and Pauper. and Field of Ruin as well, and that was one of the lands, one of the uncommon lands that we got in Ixalan. Mystic Sanctuary, this is a card printed very recently in Throne of Eldraine. Bajuka Bog, great card, and we have Remnant Ruins, and Ark of Orazca, and Blighted Woodland. Fantastic. Well, I mean, I'm pretty happy with these inclusions. Mixed feelings. There is some cards that are reprinted, but I don't think they really needed to get a reprint so soon. But nonetheless, I am happy to see all these cards in here. What do you guys think? I would love to hear your comments down below, and let me know how excited you are for this set. I'm pretty excited. I'm hoping to open at least one box. I did buy a few. I'm just debating how many I want to keep sealed and how many I actually want to open up. So please let me know in the comments down below if you'd love to see me open a box of this set, and I will read your comments. And please like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And if you enjoyed it that much, maybe you'd like to tip me. I have a PayPal link that you can send me tips if you enjoy these videos, and I can keep bringing them to you that way, and it could help my cardboard crack addiction. So please think about supporting the channel in that way. If not, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I will see you again in the next video.